Hello guys and welcome to another David Zambaleta. My name is Serge and in today's video I would like to show you guys my 21-gallon compressor setup. In the last video I kind of did a little unboxing and I showed you guys a lot of stuff that I bought. Wasn't a big video, but in today's video I'm going to be setting up all of these things, guys. So if you would like to stick around and see how I did all of these things, then join me. First of all, you could see I got my air pressure regulator to the right, which is the last thing. I got air dryer, air filter, and everything else right here. Then you see this line, guys? Look where it goes. It goes all the way to my compressor. It is 25 feet of line. It's a good idea to have about 50 feet to have cooler airflow, but I just got 25 feet. Probably an overkill, but I also have an air filter right here along with a shut-off valve, which makes things a little bit convenient for me. Also, guys, you might be thinking this is just convenience factor, but actually, this is not exactly for convenience, but rather, to basically have air be allowed to get cooled in the process when it travels up to here. And then further, it's going to be cooled down with this thicker diameter pipe. This is a 3/8 here. Now, in order to get the proper cooling, you should be having sort of like a radiator style, just kind of just going like that. I've seen people do that, which I think actually is a lot better. But as you can see, I got a lot of shelf space, not a lot of place to really do that at this point, but it's okay. I guess I could probably end up doing it right there where the compressor is, with this extra black line that I have. I could actually just extend it right there and do that and then plug everything in, because everything's kind of set up. But at this point, I'm going to run things as they are. And if I need to do something else for the cooling, I will do it. But technically, I mean, we got two air filters, right? This is a dryer as well. This is like an oil water separator again. So there's so much going on. And I think that's going to be enough. And then I got my gun over here, which has another water separator with another pressure regulator. And lastly, I'm going to point something out that really caught me off guard. I thought that red and blue is just a color preference. Turns out not so much. This is actually, even though this is a 1/4 fitting, this is slightly different. This one has an M and this one's got a T. See, quarter inch T, and it doesn't fit. I can't put this into the blue, and I can't put blue into this section. So choose wisely. I have mainly the blue ones, but I started putting red ones over here. Got some red ones over here. I got the red one at the back. This tip was a red one. I ended up having to change it because this one was a blue. I first kind of thought okay, blue looks kind of cool, and then I had to change it. Everything else got a blue over here. So I kind of got lucky on that. Well, anyways, guys, you have seen my setup, and now I would like to show you guys what I did to really get there. As you can see, here's my paint gun right here, and I'm going to basically set it up with air pressure regulator and of course a filter. Some of the stuff I showed you guys in the last video, but in today's video I got a little bit more. I had to get this pressure regulator for my spray gun, and I kind of figured, look, I'm gonna go ahead and set everything up. I'm also going to use some Teflon tape to make sure that nothing leaks. And with that being said, guys, there's a lot of work to be done. It has taken me pretty much most of the day to get the stuff done. One of the mistakes that I have made is that I have bought 3/8 airline in order to have a little bit of a thicker line so that air can be cooled while painting. And of course, it doesn't have a 1/4 inch end on it. I forgot to get some of the fittings to make it smaller. I had to go back to Home Depot and get some more of them, and I basically bought 5 packs, just make sure I have enough. They did not have one big pack, so that I could make the 3/8 into a 1/4 inch But it's a little bit, obviously, just a little bit more expensive to do it that way. Probably better idea just to get the proper airlines and stuff like that. Also, I had to get Teflon tape because I did run out. Um, so my plan is at this point to make sure that I can actually set this pressure regulator and the air filter to make sure that I could use it on all of my guns. So at this point, I'm setting it up like normal, how people do it. But at a later point, off camera, I'm going to remove that and make sure that I have an attachment to where it clicks in and clicks out. Especially when you're cleaning the gun, it's going to make things smaller because I've never seen anybody, to have that attachment. But I'm sure you've seen that on the wall, the correct way that I had it, because I made that video at the very end once I set everything up. But this is just a little bit too long for me, guys. I don't know what you think, but a little bit too long. It's fine when you're painting it, but trying to store it and everything else and cleaning it just a little bit too big. The air nozzle on this Black Widow is 1.7, the same as my purple cheap gun, also from Harbor Tool and Freight, but this is supposed to be top of the line. And according to the box instructions, you can use this for primer or base coat type of paint. But I'm wondering, would it also be okay to use it for clear coat? In the past, I have used same gun for clear coat as well. So I may be looking into getting one more just to make sure that I have a gun for clear coating. I also think that might be a good idea to keep things kind of clean and clear. But anyways, I like the setup. Everything's working good. Let's get this out of the way. And now it's time for me to put the correct ends on this air hose. And then I quickly realize this is the 3/8 and it's not what I need. However, I do have the correct one, which is 25 feet versus this being 25 feet. So these are like 1/4 fittings and I'm getting it ready for the next one. As you can see, that does not fit. And I got myself two airlines like this. This is 25 feet long with a 1/4 type of tip on it. So I'm actually going to set this up. That way it can go from the compressor all the way to my air filters, which is 25 feet, which is perfect length for the garage. Now, I was thinking about using a 50-footer because a 50-footer thicker diameter hose would cool air down a lot better, but we're not like in a really hot climate, so I don't feel that it's really necessary to have a much thicker line to cool down the air. And plus, things are kind of cooling down as they are already. So I'll be monitoring the situation and seeing how things go. If I'm going to be getting some water or whatever in, like the process of painting, then in that situation, I'm going to have to think of something else. But currently, I think I really like my setup. I think things will be just fine. I have way too many air filters and air dryers, including on my gun, so I should be just fine. But anyways, putting these things together was quite easy. I had a number 14, 16, 18, and 19, and that seemed to do the trick. Also, I had a self-adjustable wrench to finish up the process, especially when I was doing a 3/8 type of setup, which I have done off video. I did not feel the need to really do it in the video. And now that I'm done with this air hose, let's go ahead and actually get these things nice and tight to make sure it's not going to be leaking at all. As you can see, this is the way I'm using my wrench setup. So now that things are tight, let's go ahead and actually move on to my air pressure regulator and everything else. So here I have the air dryer and here I have my air pressure regulator. It is recommended that you install the air pressure regulator last, right when your line actually needs to come out into the gun. And then you could have an additional air pressure regulator that regulates the air pressure to the gun. I don't know why so many air pressure regulators, but one of the reasons is you do need to adjust the air pressure at the gun with the trigger on. So that's probably having something to do with it. So you have the proper amount of airflow. So in this right here, you could actually control how much air you're actually getting from the compressor. Also, the compressor has a air pressure regulator, so everything's being regulated, guys. No problem with that. When building your air filtration system for your compressor for whatever application you're using, it's important to take into account the direction of airflow to make sure you don't mess up the fittings, because that's going to be very annoying to have to do it again. Not that it's difficult to do. These blue and the red fittings, they come sort of like with uh, the stuff already applied. So I'm using Teflon tape, but they already have this reddish coating that seals everything up. But once you use it once, you can't really reuse it again. Also, something to keep in mind, which I did already mention, is that if you're going to go like with the red or a blue, they cannot fit into each other, but it's a good idea to have them because you could separate your cold lines from hot lines and make sure everything's kind of like color coordinated, because sometimes you'll have like certain air compressor hoses, maybe that's only for tools, so you don't want to use the compressor line that you use for tools and using stuff like that, because tools need to be lubricated with oil. And in my system, I'm setting it up for car paint, so that thing on the floor you've seen, that is an oil lubricator, that is not an air filter. Well, it does filter air, but it's a lubricator as well. Well, it gets some water out of the air, but it also basically um, lubricates the tools. So if I would have that on there and I would have like oil inside, obviously for helping to lubricate the tools, it will go into the paint and into the lines, and you just don't want to really use those lines. This is why it's really important to color code all of your situations. This is why those are red, because I'm going to use it for a different system when it comes to using my tools. But not for this compressor. I have another compressor for that situation, which is actually a gas powered compressor, and they're like $1,000 now, which is quite a bit. The one I'm using right now, this is like, I think like $275, which is a 21-gallon compressor, very quiet. I'm really liking it because I don't have to worry about adding gas to it, stuff like that. I could just turn it on and I could go ahead and start using it. But with that being said, this is just a paint setup right here, guys. I just wanted to let you know. Also, you don't have to do it how I'm doing it, guys. I have bought like a lot of these different connections and fittings, and I was messing around to make sure that everything snaps in and snaps out, so I could quickly disassemble this whole system piece by piece and assemble like a different one. And for that reason, um, I think for me, like it's gonna be like really convenient. But you can just attach everything into like one system, but without having everything snap out, like all of your air filter and dryers, just have it like pressure regulator, just having it as a one unit. It's probably even like a better idea to do it that way, but for me, I decided that everything snaps in and snaps out. That way it's easier for me to clean it if I ever have to, and disassemble it, and easier for storage if I need to take that stuff apart. As you can see, guys, I have added the dryer beads into that unit. So now that unit is ready to go. Also, the balls are blue. They will turn pink when I need to actually replace them. So that's actually something from Harbor Tool and Freight, and it's gonna work out for me just fine. But this particular unit, guys, it does have a 3/8 fitting, so I do need to make sure that I have, um, like the things to size it down to like the 1/4. So I had to buy these extra sets right there, and unfortunately, they don't have like one big case that I could get, at Harbor Tools. So each one of those boxes like $5.99, and I had to get like 5 of them so that I could set everything up. But the good thing is I won't be running out of those fittings anytime soon. I could do all my lines, everything I need to do, and I could just forget about it. But guys, it's sort of like it's been really, really hitting my pocketbook, if you know what I mean, because I had to go back and just keep getting more and more and more. So over the course of a couple days, I have spent more than $1,000. I know that seems like what, like what are you doing? But literally trying to get like all of this stuff together, It's just like way too much. And I've got additional stuff that I'll be using in later videos from Harbor Tools. It's just getting everything to set up and all the like it's just a lot, you know. That's why I have wasted a couple days just trying to set everything up. So I appreciate you guys watching my whole setup. So right here, as you can see, now I have the 3/8 adapter installed with the 1/4 coming out, and I'm making sure that these things will not come open or that I apply any pressure to these cylinders, because they are kind of like made out of plastic. Some stuff is metal, some stuff is plastic, and I don't want to have to crack or break anything off. But it doesn't seem like a really expensive unit, but this thing's like 70 bucks. But with that being said, guys, let's continue the installation. So right here I have some fittings that will actually fit it. And you know, as I said, I'm using everything for paint, so everything's going to be blue. I've actually purchased 3 packs of this blue stuff, and I still have like a lot left over. Like I still have like 1 case of that left over, but I wanted to make sure that I have enough. And members, they actually get a discount, so each pack is like 15 bucks versus it being 20, so that's a good thing. And just like that, guys, this whole unit is complete. Now I could snap things in and out. So let's go ahead and apply the air pressure regulator so the direction of airflow is perfect. So I'm going to be mounting this on a wall, but you already have seen that. So now I got to get my 3/8 hose and go ahead and actually get that fitted. But I'm not going to bore you with any of those details. I mean, you don't need to see me install this hose connectors. But I will say that this is a 3/8 hose. It is a 50-footer hose. I will be using it mainly for painting. This is the one that I'm going to drag outside with me. So I have 2 hoses just like that. One of them I may or may not use it for additional cooling, or I may just attach another black one because I have 2 black 25-footers and they fit just fine. And what I mean by that, guys, is it's important to make sure you have cool airflow coming in into your air filters, and then when you attach your compressor hose, that you have cold air coming out. That way you don't have any water buildup in the lines, which is kind of like important. But you've seen I have like so many filters, air dryers, and stuff like that. So this is the most I've ever used when painting. So I think I will be just fine. But anyways, I will be using a mask. Got a 3M mask right here. I was using it for doing drywall. This is why it's white. So I'm gonna have to get new filters and everything. And I do have this painter's type of outfit, which is a good idea to wear whenever you're painting, because you can have everything dirty in paint. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and set up this gun and my other gun. This is going to be my primer gun, this purple one. It's a 1.7 diameter that's coming out for the ear. And I'm going to set up that high volume type of paint system at the bottom just to have things ready. I plan to use it for my Mercedes Sprinter type of paint jobs. It's a very big vehicle, and I think it's important to have this setup. It has a big bucket, which is you put like lots of paint in there, and you could just paint the whole big area without worrying about running out of paint. So for a huge van like Mercedes Sprinter vans, this would work perfect. But this is pretty straightforward. When you're setting it up, you could almost like follow directions by just looking at the boxes. So I'm not going to bore you with the details, and I will set that up off camera. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you all. And in the next video, we're going to continue our Chrysler 300 project. Now I'll have all the supplies that I need, and then I'll have to run back and forth to the store to try to get more supplies. Also, when it comes to primer, I do have 2K primer, and now that I have my paint set up right here, I will be using my primer gun, which is going to be that purple gun. It's a cheap gun, but it's going to be perfect for applying primer so that primer can dry quickly. But I think just for this time, I'm going to go ahead and just use some of that rattle can situation and just use up what I've got. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for following my project and watching my videos, guys. I really appreciate you all. You all have a great day or great night, whatever you guys are. I'll see you guys later whenever you join me again for my project. Please hit a like in this video just to show your support, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.